are inundated with disposable items and the relentless production lines of new and improved models when something doesn't work or doesn't bring the satisfaction it initially did. People are ever ready to dispose of it. Relationships, like many things, are more easily disposed of than worked on. If a person's car breaks down, what do? To the take of the junkyard or to the mechanic? What does it say of a person of a culture when their relationship is more disposable than their car? Today on Our Space, we're going in for a tune-up. Our first op learns about the return policy on engagement rings. Girlfriend, little boy, everything. So me and this girl I met at work have been dating for over a year. Around 6 months ago, we decided to move in together. She wants to buy a house first and quickly gets approved, but takes about 5 months for solar sitters to get their crap together. A friend of mine also works with me, needed to move into town at short notice as his other boss wants the house back. And he has no lease or anything. So I said, I'll speak to the girlfriend and see when we're moving in together. And he can have my flat. Anyway, I talked to my girlfriend. And she says she wants a couple weeks to fix up the house before I move in. Ceilings need stripping and replastering, etc. I offer to stay at the house alone and get the work done and agree with a friend that I can stay another 2 weeks at the end of the month, and we agree with the landlord. Told my girlfriend I was giving notice and the dates so she could weigh in and all was good. I took 3 unpaid weeks off, fixed up the house, stripped and prepped all the walls, cleaned, family came up, 6-hour drive and cleared the enormous garden of 8-foot-high bramble, the works. My friend signs a contract for the flat, and the following day, my girlfriend says she can't have me move in right now. It's too much. Please bear in mind, at this point, for this last 4 months or so, I've only been spending 3 nights at fortnight at my flat because I've been at her old house with her and her little boy. So I've pretty much been living with him anyway, but I said, okay. And she drove off. Doesn't speak to me for days. Breaks up with me a few days later. 2 days later, a guy from work tells me she's been seeing someone else for a while. Him and another guy from work found out a few days prior and gave him the weekend to tell me or they would. He lied to me, so they told me. Here's the kicker. It's the guy the first gave my flat to. So now I'm homeless, and that flat was £200 a month cheaper than anywhere else. Even better, I had a word with the landlord who I got on grey with and managed to get £25 a month taken off the rent for the other guy because I know he's struggling with money. Not allowed to see little boy have been raising almost half his life because it's confusing to have men come in and out of his life, but less than 2 weeks from the split the new guy is going to the park with him, but it's okay, guys. They're not in a relationship. They're just really good friends. Also 3 weeks later, she tells me it's too soon to be dating. Madness. So now I've got a £1,700 engagement ring to return and an £800 ring that's too late for return. At least it covers part of the deposit from my next place when I find one. Yes. We all still work together. I am staying very friendly with the both of them. And they are so scared I'm gonna snap because I'm too calm. Honestly, they might be right. Edit. This crap all went down a few weeks ago, so quick update. Within a couple days of this, I secured a new job, half the hours, almost double the pay. I've got 2 degrees and I was working a crappy job because I was comfortable cruising. Still working 1 day a week at the old one for the free perks. Everyone knows what happens at this point. Called the guy out at work, he's never gonna live it down. My old neighbors have said they're more than capable of making the guy's life very difficult, as have hers, who I made friends with while fixing up the house in her absence. Got myself a massive upgrade to rent through the old landlord. Great guy. And through a financial advisor, it turns out I can afford a decent-sized mortgage, enough for 3-bed properties in my area. Crappy situation turned into the kick up the ass I needed to get my crap together, onwards and upwards. Also to clarify, think a couple people missed some sarcasm in the original post, and I'm staying friendly with them, specifically because they're scared I'm gonna snap. The satisfaction is unbelievable and everyone that works there is feeding their anxiety over it. I want to see how long before they quit. The community reaction starts off with Zephram71. That witch use you to get free work on the house. They should be nervous. Abbreviations Old 5833 says, oh, dang. They acted like it was some revenge. Oh. P says it was brutal. They claimed the breakup. The cheating and the flat were all totally unrelated. You have to work together still, so you have to stay on good terms. One of the most difficult things about rebuilding your ability to trust after someone cheats is staying in the present moment and building toward the future rather than living in or worrying about the past. You have every right to feel hurt and angry about your partner's decision to cheat. However, if you can't eventually let go of those feelings and work toward a more positive future, it may be a sign that there are still inner work that needs to be done. Just because they cheated doesn't mean you need to punish yourself by striving to make their lives a living hell. The best thing you can do is move away from that old life. It's toxic to stay in the past. You're better than that. Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. Meanwhile, our next op has to drop some deadweight. My stepdad cheated on my mom. My 23 female and my mom, 55 female, work together at a law firm. Yesterday at work, we found out together that her husband, my stepdad, of almost 11 years, has been cheating on her for the last few months. This is my mom's third marriage. My dad cheated on her and her husband before that was a total piece of crap. She hasn't confronted my stepdad about it yet, and I'm not sure that he knows she knows. The cheating was mostly emotional. Not that that makes it okay. And they would talk through Facebook Messenger for a while before she got caught by her husband. After she got caught, they switched to email. Her husband found the emails on July 5th, texting my mom all of the emails. They played together on an adult soccer league, and that's how they met. My stepdad hosted a Cinco de Mayo party in May, and my mom and I both picked up on some weird vibes with this woman. Upon questioning my stepdad about it, he essentially brushed it off and laughed. But we both could tell something wasn't right. I'm a total mess about it. I was young when she and my dad split, and I didn't find out most of the details until I got older. This is completely different because we literally found out at the exact same time. She read me every single email out loud as she read them for the first time. I broke down sobbing because my mom wasn't complete disbelief in shock, and I just felt so sad for her. We talked a lot about plans. If she's going to leave him, how to tell my siblings, etc. So far I'm the only one who knows. I had a complete breakdown last night about it all. It's so unfair to my mom. I'm so angry at my stepdad and heard from my mama, and I really don't know how to process all this. I also feel betrayed in my own way because for a lot of my life, my stepdad was more present and supported me more than my actual dad. It just feels like he did it to all of us. This is new territory, and I want to figure out how to best be there for my mom. Any and all advice is appreciated. Thank you. I wanted to add that in the emails to the other woman, my stepdad talks about divorcing my mom and not being happy and her not putting effort into the relationship and a bunch of BS like that. According to the other woman's husband, all communication between her and my stepdad is over. However, we're both wondering what that means. And if he still feels that way about her, or if it was only because of the other woman. Our first community reaction comes from Bob Barker Forever. Encourage her to seek some individual counseling. Cheating is always the fault of the cheater. She's not wrong that she's the common denominator. Her picker is broken, but that's not where she should be focusing. Name her at her righteous anger and a sensible planning for the future. And Bo, does she have children with this man? DOP replies. It's so funny you said her picker is broken because that is word for word what she said. No, she does not have shoulder with him. She could arguably divorce him and never see him ever again, which is a big change from when she and my dad divorced. Next reaction from Fit Acadia 8074. Sounds like you and your mom have everything settled. I wish y'all the best to get rid of deadweight. Plus, how good of the other husband to notify you guys. Hard for both of y'all, but need to move forward. Best of luck. Over-counter 8 times in 2. He did betray all of you, the entire family. The only way is by supporting your mom and try convincing her to confront him for her own health and all of you. She really needs to get out of that relationship. He has clearly lost respect for her, the family, and her boundaries. You need to talk to your siblings if they are old enough to understand this. Then you need some therapy, some for your mom. I'm so sorry that this has happened to you and your mother. You have every right to feel betrayed, Op. Nobody deserves to have that happen once. Never mind twice. It really makes you wonder about people in this world and how they think they have any right to act so selfishly and carelessly. You need to support your mother and help her get her foot in the door to have a beautiful life. Your mom needs to pull the plug. She's too good of a woman to stay where she is. What do you think OP's mom should do? And yet our last op is to leave the past behind. My partner left me for someone else, then came back. I, 30 male, and my partner, 26 female, broke up after 7 years, and a few days later, was seeing somebody else. This particular person was a regular at her work, and they had obviously been flirting with each other for quite a few months. He was married and had told my partner at the time he had left his wife, so while he was having a fling with my then ex, he was still married. They were seeing each other for about 2 months until everything came crashing down. My ex found out he had not only been cheating on his wife with her, but there were also other women. She broke up with him and immediately got in touch with me explaining what had happened, not looking to be back with me, but I guess just looking for a shoulder. I offer her some emotional support and left it at that. Several months later, she wants to try again with me. I want to try again with her, but how can I move on from constant thoughts of her leaving me just to screw somebody else? Kudos to her for leaving me before it became physical, but she emotionally cheated. I think about this other guy every single day, and it is bringing me down so much. Any advice to manage my thoughts on this would be great. Bell17 reacts first. Don't do it. Sorry, mate, but even if after 7 years, she chose to leave you for this guy instead of talking with you to improve the relationship on the things she wanted, then it's not worth it. She made a choice. Imagine if the guy did actually leave his wife, then you wouldn't even have this conversation. Your ex didn't come back for you. She came back because the other guy wasn't as good as she thought, and you should stop being in contact with her. It is just a daily reminder of what she did to you. Move on. Next thought from 02201970A. She cheated and only came back when she found out he cheated on her. You are her plan B. If you take her back, you will be tossed aside as soon as another plan A shows up. KCVB56 says honestly, oh. P. You were contradicting every single comment that contains good advice. I think this is probably because it's not what you want to hear. She left you, dude. Who cares if she was single for a while after the fling? If you want to take her back, that's okay. In the future, I would not waste my time making a Reddit post if you're not willing to be open-minded. Your ex sounds scared and lonely up, and you're over and beyond this now. You aren't the same person you were when you were together. That's old news, and you don't need to take 10,000 steps backwards. You've moved on. It's natural to want to try again, but that's only because it's comfortable and familiar, and you're only remembering the good times. You're not remembering all of the hurt you've overcome. Thank you for joining us today on our space. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And hit that notification bell. Also, please let us know what you thought of today's content. Until next time.